Alex Lifeson of Rush says he hasn't been motivated at all to play music since Neil Peart passed away. I'm John Beaudin from Rocky Street Music. The guitarist was on WFAN radio this morning talking about one of his passions, golf. And when Rush came up, of course he had lots to say. He said Geddy Lee and I were friends from junior high school. We had such a love of music. After school, I'd go to his place and he'd come to mine. We would just jam for a couple of hours almost every single day. He continues, it was a dream of an adolescent male to join a rock band and pick up chicks and this whole thing. But for us, the music was so important and it was really about becoming a good musician and the best at what you do. And we started early with that. And that was the underlying reason for what we were doing. And then he talked about Neil Peart. When Neil joined the band, he was so skilled, even at an early age, that it was inspiring to Geddy and me, and we just kind of moved as a unit. We all shared a very similar sense of music. So the time we spent together, when we weren't focused on music, it was like being with your very best friend all the time. And you got to travel and see this other world and live this experience that you only ever dreamed about. And you got to do it together with guys that you really loved. So it was a no-brainer really for us. We were really, really fortunate. Because I know lots of bands that imploded. Guys just couldn't stand each other after a while. Or there was a competition or a jealousy over who wrote what song and who made what money and all that stuff. We were always very democratic in the way we ran things. If it wasn't a unanimous decision doing something, we didn't do it. If there was a royalty payment because someone wrote something, the whole band shared in it. That took out a lot of the stress and the angst and that kind of jealousy and anger that can develop in some bands. He said he and Geddy Lee would see each other every week, but with this whole COVID-19 thing, that's put a damper on that. But they really do stay in contact. And then he was asked if he and Geddy Lee would play together again. He said, not really, it's been difficult. After Neil passed in January, I played very little guitar. I don't feel inspired and motivated. It was the same thing when Neil's daughter died in a car accident in 1997. I didn't really play for about a year, and I just don't feel it in my heart right now. Every time I pick up the guitar, I just aimlessly kind of mess around with it and put it down after 10 minutes. Normally, I would pick up the guitar and I would play for a couple of hours without even being aware that I'm spending that much time. So I know it'll come back, and I think Geddy working on his book for those couple of years, he was so involved in that book, which is, by the way, a fabulous book. When he finished it, he went on that tour for a year, promoting it. Every time I spoke to him about getting back together, he was like, yeah, when I get through this, and then always something came up. I guess I don't know if the motivation is there for us, really, to do anything now. We're certainly proud of our track record, and we still love music. But it's different now. Look at the way they did things. Look at the way they handled each other. They worked together with such respect. It's uncanny. And it's rare in rock and roll for that to happen. You're never hearing one member badmouth the other. There's never a bad day when that'll come out. They just got along. They were good people. They are good people. But in that, I did hear that there's a willingness to work together. It's just kind of maybe not priority right now with Geddy in the book. We'll see. We'll see what will happen. If it ever happens, they just won't call it Rush. Because of course they wouldn't do that. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin. And buy a t-shirt, help support the channel. This is Rocky Street Music.